how to heal yourself when you're not feeling good and you don't know what to do or what not to do. I think a great place to start is listening to the body and moving the body. There's a kind of two sides of a similar coin. Getting to know yourself and also moving energy through the body. I've got this kind of cool chime in my hand here in case you're wondering what that noise is. I'll set it down. I was just playing with some musical instruments earlier today, so I got them out. And that's one way of moving energy in the body. Rhythm is an excellent way, and also tones in the body, humming, singing, practicing like scale, shifting your voice, mimicking animals. Those are all really wonderful ways of moving energy through your body and helping yourself to heal. You might be amazed at what kind of healing capacity your own body has when you just learn to tune into it and move a little bit. That being said, hi, I'm Angel, ZGALA, and I'm here to do a little bit of stretching and strengthening, tune in with my own body, and I am still working on a digestive health series, and I actually stopped doing my series for just a few days and had some symptoms return. So it's a good time for me to return to my rituals, my practices, and remind you that it's the practices that we do consistently which add up to a better feeling life or a worse feeling life, right? So I welcome you to join me to whatever feels good in your body, to whatever degree feels good in your body, I was trying to say. And I'm going to be going through a series which might be familiar to some of you if you've been stopping by regularly, and thank you if you have. I'm going to scooch back here and try to talk louder. I'm going to be working on my sound and my lighting and all those things. I know I keep saying that. It's a slow process. Anyway, today I'm going to work through some Marjaryasana, I think that's right, which is cat pose, and Bitilasana, which is cow pose. And just to talk you through those a little bit, cat pose. I'm going to take this off a little bit. Before I walk you through them, actually, let me finish talking about what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some cat-cow. I'm going to do some malasana or squat. I'm going to do some twisting, supine twist. I'm going to do some bridge pose or camel pose. I think it's actually called a camel pose, but somewhere in one of the things I was reading, it called it a bridge pose, and I started calling it that. Probably going to throw in balasana or child's pose. Let's see what else. Oh, I like to do some Adho Mukha, downward facing dog, and some Uttana Shishosana or extended puppy pose. Those are the basics of what I'm going to try to flow through here. And that said, let's start off in tabletop. That's with knees under hips and hands under shoulders, back relatively flat, and then Marjaryasana, pushing up into that arched back cat position. Exhaling usually, although you can try reversing the breath or doing a whole breath. And I'm pulling up in the abdomen, and I'm tipping the tailbone and pushing up through the arms, spreading the shoulder blades apart and tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone, and pulling forward a little bit with those hips so that I'm trying to round the spine, both back to front and side to side. And again, squeezing all the air out on that. And then inhaling into cow, lifting through the chest and lifting with the eyes, tipping the tailbone up or toward the back of the head, still holding some tension a little bit, or not tension isn't the right word, but stability in the abdomen. Breathing in. And with the breath, I'm going to do a few rounds. And then coming back to neutral. I'm going to tuck these toes under, lift the hips into Adho Mukha or downward facing dog, pushing through the palms. I'm going to tread those heels a little bit. Pushing down into the heels and back with the hips. And then from there, I'm going to bring these knees down and extending the arms a little bit more into extended puppy pose or Uttana Shishosana. That feels real good through the chest to me. And you can either keep your head up and between the arms, or sometimes I like to bring the head all the way down and try to just play with relaxing my arms a little bit because I tend to hold a lot of tension there. So it's a good position for that. And walking the hands back up, I'm going to come into that bridge pose or camel pose, whatever it's called. And I'm actually going to bring the heels up a little bit so that they're a little closer and a little less torque on my shoulders right now. It's an ongoing issue. And pushing forward with those hips. I will review my notes and see what this one's called. It is amazing to me how long it takes me to learn these things sometimes, or how many times I have to learn them. From here, I'm going to come down into child's pose, folding up, coming down, putting the hands to either side, or you can put them under the head. You can put the head down on the forehead or to either side, and just taking a few breaths there to just check in with the body. Taking some deep breaths. And from here, I'm going to come into that squat position briefly, Malasana, pushing the heels down. I like to bring my elbows on the inside of the knees, and then I'm pushing those knees apart, and then I like to add a little twist to each side because that feels good on the arms and the shoulders. Just again using those elbows and knees against each other, play around with some range of motion. Give that a few breaths to relax as well. And from here, I'm going to come down into a supine twist. Let's come down, rolling nice and slow, checking in with the spine, one vertebrae at a time, and just getting a nice stretch through that low back, bringing the knees up. As I come down, I'm going to give those knees a little hug, and then looking for about a 90-degree angle, putting the arms out to either side, and I'm going to bring the knees knees to the right and look to the left, engaging the abdomen, keeping both arms down on the floor, keeping the knees together. Or if that's too much on the abdomen, you could straighten one leg, make it more of a twist, bring those up and over to the other side, looking the opposite way. And then again, bringing those up in the center and over to the other side again. Let's do that 3 times on each side. I got some crackly pops in there, so I'm going to try to really push down into that low back for support. And one more time on each side. That's a little bit better. I think that was an extra time on that side, so let's go one more time to this side with the head engaged. Let's relax into that a little bit. And coming back to center, I'm going to give those knees another hug, rocking around a little bit. Let's do a little extra stretching, lengthening one leg,